I initially thought, by the way, that the logo had a hidden Phyrexian mark in it because the O's got a line going through it, but it stops. So it's not a full Phyrexian mark. I was like, okay. Phyrexians in space.
Yeah. Is my lying okay? Do I look funny?
You look. It's a bit dark, but I think you're okay.
I was fiddling with it earlier, and
I think it's fine.
Is that any better?
A little bit. It's because your background is so purple.
Yeah, is it the nano leaf that's fucking me up?
That's your issue. I need to decide what I'm doing with this office because it's still just.
Here we go.
Everything is just the magnolia walls. So I've got colours in mind. I think I want to do a yellow and like maybe like a terracotta, or maybe like an orange, like a reddish orange. But nice. I just don't know what I want to do with it. I don't know if I want to do like colour splashing. I've got a wallpaper that I've had for like since we moved in. I'm like, oh, maybe it's this, but it's quite busy. But that was before we were recording. So now I'm like, oh, it's quite busy for like a video background. So these are the things I have to think about now, which is great.
I want a neon sign. I want like a custom neon sign here, or like a cross or something.
Yeah,
cool. Just like that's about the extent of my decoration.
Okay, that could be a Temu joint.
That could be. Yeah. I'll see what I got.
Recording's easy.
But yeah, I'm fiddling with my background. It's still I've got my sleeves there. Look, I don't know why they're there. My sleeves that I got after Christmas.
A little bit of product placement.
Yeah, they're so good. The Apex sleeves. Can't beat it. Oh, shall we roll on into the intro? That was a short rolling start. Hello.
Post Christmas rolling start.
Yeah. This is as the year goes on, they get progressively longer. Welcome to episode 22. It's January 2025, episode 22 of the Magic Castles podcast. I am Tom, aka Overfiend, and this is Adam, aka Adam GCB. You will be seeing new graphics, new sparkly things for the new rebrand. It's all live now. It's good. What have you been up to? How are you? How's Christmas?
Hello. Good. I had 3 Christmases. Wow. We had Christmas here, just us. And then we had a friend of us a couple of days after Christmas. And then I went and saw my family on New Year's Eve, which actually worked out really well because around these parts, people love setting off fireworks, which does the dogs in. And then in farmland, Somerset, don't know why they're rednecks.
They are the rednecks of England.
They are. They don't like the fireworks because it's their profession. So it was quite nice actually. Then we had to drive home in abysmal rain on New Year's Day, but it was fine otherwise. It was typical, right? I got there on New Year's Eve and my nephew's there, and my nephew is 5 and he is hilarious and just was recently diagnosed with autism, but like he has the flavor of autism where like and also because he's fucking 5 years old, where like if he has something on the top of his mind, it's like it's coming out, like he can't suppress it. So I've been getting messages from my sister saying, oh, I bought Sonic 4 episode 1 on Xbox and it's not working, like can you, because it's backwards compatible, it's always thing, like when you're here, can you fix it? I was like, yeah, that's fine, not an issue. As soon as I step through the door, nephew just runs up to me, Sonic 4 episode 1 is not working, Uncle Adam, please fix it. And I was like, okay, cool. So within half an hour, I fixed Sonic 4 episode 1. Humble Bundle currently have like, you can buy like a bunch of like the IDW Sonic comics, like £10. Yeah. So I bought all of those for him. I can send them to you. I've got all the EPUBs. And then, but he's got he's got a kid's Fire tablet, so it was like, how do we get that on there? So I had to do that. I was like, okay, I've been here half an hour. I've done 2 Sonic the Hedgehog related tech supports, and then my family are moving. My mum's like, "Oh, can you lift this massive table into the van, please?" And I was like, "Okay, cool." Here, and I'm doing like manual labor and IT support, but it was fine. It was cool otherwise. But yeah, so we left on New Year's Day. Where we had to drive through the rain, but through Somerset they do a tractor parade on New Year's Day. So we were trying to get out and we just couldn't because it was just full of tractors. Like legitimately, this entire road, which is usually empty, like people just walk their dogs in the middle of the road. It's that empty. It was just full of tractors, and then like I'm in the back trying to wrestle an angry Jack Russell who won't sit in her car box. And there's just like 16-year-olds driving tractors, just like giving it like the big one at me. And I'm like, this is absolutely wild.
I'm imagining like a Mr. Bean situation where you've turned onto a road and you've like joined the parade. Yeah, in between two.
It was basically that. Like we were going the opposite way, but like we were, because it was raining. Like a lot of people were like parking up on the curb with their kids in the back so they could see the tractors. So we were like weaving in and out. Hilariously though, my parents have an RV that they were moving out. So not only is there now this road full of tractors, there's this gigantic American RV just like wedged in the middle of the road, and we're just like, bye, see you driving off. That was fun. How was your Christmas?
Mine was quiet. I didn't really get up too much. Christmas went over to Mom's for a few days, hung out there. That was nice. New Year's we just stayed in, couldn't really bother going in. And yeah, thankfully my mum's dog loves fireworks. We've discovered she loves them. Yeah, it's crazy. She like looks at them and loves them. Yeah, that's good.
I can't. Chewie doesn't care, but that's because 5 brain cells happening in there. Whereas Maggie is just like PTSD, World War II flashbacks. Like
mum's old dog was like that. He hated it, but this new dog, she's odd.
You have to like bear hug her and like just jam classic FM on. It's the only way you can get through it.
We took her for a walk. I think it was just before Christmas, you know, when like I think it was like Diwali, fireworks going off. There were fireworks going off, and she loved it. She was like looking at them, and that's how we knew. Like, yeah. So yeah,
I wish.
But yeah, other than that, it was quite a quiet one for me. Didn't really go up too much. I think we're going to go over Christmas in Upkeep, but we should do the welcome back to the viewers. So yeah, welcome back. Like and subscribe. Do all the things. We're now on iTunes.
Finally.
So
we have swapped podcast hosting to Spotify. So if there's any weird hiccups of that, I apologize. It seems to have gone without a hitch, but if it's being weird, just drop a comment below. If you can't hear this, fuck anyway. But yeah, so I think on the next couple episodes, I'm just going to monitor that because I think based on the numbers I looked at, there are a couple people who listen to this in like old school RSS feeds, so I'll make sure they are still getting it. You will have noticed that everything has been rebranded. This is Tom has done a slap up job on the rebrand. I think it's just a thing that we want to experiment with and keep pushing, which is good.
I think this also matches the scuffed vibe. We're more.
I think so. I think like the IP infringement Disney Castle vibe was mainly to land the joke.
Also, it was just I just did that one day and you were like, wow, I like that. And then it ended up going with it.
And it kind of worked. And we kind of just stuck with it for over a year or nearly a year. So I think, this allows us to, I think it feels more like me and you, which is good. I think it feels more unique and it's not as clean, like you said. So I think the scuffed vibe comes through. And I think there's also, this is because there's more parts to it. It's easier to like interchange and do more interesting stuff with it as well. So yeah, that's been a fun a fun little job for you. And then what we're also going to do on the social, I think we might show like some of the other versions that we had, maybe like kind of a whip of like where we started and where we got to, which would be nice. But yeah, this is nearly coming up on year 2. So I think it was a bit of time for a bit of a refresh.
Also, I will be editing the episodes a bit more, so there are going to be like little transition screens, and like you should have seen some name tags under us. We'll be doing that for guests, so you'll know like their ats and who they are and things like that. Yeah, I am going to do full edit of the episodes now instead of just the way Riverside. We use Riverside to record, and it kind of spat out an edited version of the pod with like the screen shares and stuff. And we were tiny in the corner, and it was just a bit like, but I'm going to fully edit it now, so it should be a nicer viewing experience.
Yeah, we're going to try and manage the amount of screen sharing we're doing as well. I think that whilst good for the things like obviously EDH Rec Shuffle, we're going to have to use it, but I think there's certain sections where we can rely on it less. So by happy accident, the last episode, the end of year awards episode, used no screen sharing. That was because I forgot to screen share. But I think it worked out really well in the edit as well. So we're going to try and do less of that, keep things friendlier for audio listeners. But unfortunately, audio listeners, there's going to be times where EDH Rec Shuffle is the glue that holds a bit together. So we're going to have to screen share a little bit, but we'll try and be way more descriptive.
I will throw cards up on the screen as well if we talk about that. I'll try and do that, and I will try my best to say what the cards do so all your listeners can. Yeah, and there's going to be instances where I'm screen sharing between me and Tom, but Tom just edits in the thing that we're talking about rather than showing my entire screen, because the screen share I think is quite ugly. So and you just get ads everywhere as well, and we don't.
We're not
sponsored yet. No. Yeah, yet.
So so new look, all good. There is a best of this podcast from 2024 that has been uploaded everywhere. Go watch it; it's a lot of fun.
That was fun.
Trip down memory lane. I also think you just see the progression of like
you hear it as well.
Jeez. You hear the progression and you see the progression, and you kind of see like
the flashbang era.
Yeah, and you can kind of see like how we work out bits and get better with that. And also last episode, if you haven't listened to it already, please go listen to it. I think it's probably one of our best episodes, if not our best episode.
Yeah, I've had so much feedback on people saying they love that episode.
So. Yeah, so last episode was End of Year Awards, which was a lot of fun. Cool. Upkeep. I've done fuck all. Chaos Vault Secret Lair. Arrived. Was cool. I opened it up. I don't know if I'm going to build anything from it. Oh god, I need to look up now.
Chaos Vault. Did I miss something?
Is it called Chaos Vault?
Oh, the fairest drop of all.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm with you now. Yeah.
Chaos Vault is it's just a new section of the...
Oh, I had no idea. Yes, that's the thing. That was like their experiment thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you.
That arrived...
Yes.
Between episodes, I believe. Or it might have arrived just before end of year, but didn't make sense to it.
Yeah.
It's cool. I don't think I'm going to build anything from it. I don't know. Maybe I don't have a bad Enchantress.
Now, I wasn't going to, because I don't like Enchantress decks. The cards themselves are beautiful. Really, really pretty. But I did see... where are we? The last episode of Scry Babies came out a few days ago. And Brian David Marshall, big fan. Mm-hmm. Love you, Brian David Marshall. He is playing Estrad, and it's full of like old weirdo cards. It's more focused on so Estrad's +2. Estrad the Mask, by the way, is what we're talking about. She's a Planeswalker. Her +2 untaps all opponents you control that are enchanted. So his list focuses on land enchantments.
Sure.
So you enchant all your lands, untap them all, get a load of mana. And that's quite a different way of building it that I quite like.
Preston, basically. because that's what the Preston lists tend to do. Where I've done my Preston list is the other way. My Preston is just Enchantress, but without slapping auras on all my lands. It's got some of them, but it's not focused purely on that. So yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, I am tempted to build
a Merfolk, if anything, just because it's really pretty. But then I'm like, do I need it? Like,
you were talking about Preston Garvey. I was thinking about Preston the Vanisher.
No, Preston Garvey.
Like, the bunny? What's he doing? Yeah, I'm with you.
Preston Enchantress.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tuvesa. Sunlit. It's interesting. I don't know. Like, it's just, do I need? I have Preston Garvey Enchantress. Do I need a second Enchantress deck that is with one color difference? Probably not. So
I've been like against Enchantress because it just seems to be like, play a card, draw a card, play a card, draw a card. I've got Gilwain, which is like a weird Enchantress deck that doesn't play enchantments. So I think I have a space for an Innistrad deck maybe, and like I said, that list that Brian played on Scry Babies looked really fun, so maybe that's something I'll do.
But yeah, tweaking decks otherwise to try and make stuff smoother, and then no Magic was gifted to me for Christmas, which is like this weird thing where I'll always, like, people are like, I don't know what to buy you. And I say, well, here's my wish list. And my wish list is usually just Magic. But because people don't know what it is, they don't want to buy it. So like, I don't know if it's the right thing. I'm like, it's in my wish list. Like, I will literally put like Foundations boosters, no limit. Like, buy as many as you want. It's fine. And then I think it's this hard thing where it's just like, people are still apprehensive of, I don't know what I'm getting, so I'm not going to get them. So, that's fine. And also, Foundations was like a weird holiday release because there wasn't really like a gift box. I mean, Duskmourn came out so like was early, right? So there's no real big gifting opportunity this year for Magic.
Yeah, they didn't have like a Lord of the Rings holiday type thing, did they? Or
they will next year because it's Spider-Man. So next year's going to be gift boxes up the wazoo, which we'll get to in a little bit. What have you been doing?
So, shortly after, I believe, our last episode, I received a box from you that was full of junk, which was great. So that's for the party box. I've been playing with them. I don't know if you can hear them on the mic, but we've got a bunch of booster packs for Booster Tutor. I don't know if we should. Are we spoiling these? Do we want to spoil them or?
Yeah, why not? Like,
so I'm going to.
People might not see them. Like,
So, for those of you who don't remember, 2K and Gearbox is Battleborn. We've got 2 Battleborn character card packs. Very exciting. We've got a Camp Rock Panini trading card pack. Also exciting.
Hold up the camera again, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, there you go. Camp Rock. We have 2 packs. These are very cool. Powerpuff Girls. I don't know what's in those. Collectible or
I have no idea.
They are Japanese.
Are they? I just bought stuff on eBay.
Yeah, they're Japanese.
Okay,
cool. Speaking of Japanese, we've got a Japanese Hatsune Miku booster pack.
Don't know what's in that.
Very exciting. We've got these Buffy the Vampire Slayer collectible card game. So these will actually have mechanics. Angel's Curse. I think that might be the expansion. 12 additional game cards. That's got like a old Magic kind of vibe to the back, which I like a Scourge type, Then we've got Australian Baseball League collector's cards, 9 cards per pack.
From 1995.
Wow. 1994.
Oh, yeah. So it's like a minor league Australian baseball.
Yeah, so it's the 95 league, or these are printed in 94. Damn, okay. Exciting. Fantastic opportunity to collect very rare cards of our future great styles of baseball.
I'm sure.
And then my favourite.
My favourite as well.
Harley Davidson Series 3, 10 premium collector's cards. And for those audio listeners who can't see, right here, it says, win this Harley. So hopefully, when we do get this opened in the pack, we might have the opportunity to win a Harley Davidson. So playing the Magic Castles party box could win you a Harley Davidson.
Do you think that competition's still valid? I live near... Do I live near... Is it a Harley Davidson HQ. I live near I think it's Harley Davidson's it's either their manufacturing plant or their head office. So
you can rock up with it if you.
I can knock down the door and be like, I've got a gold card. Give me my season 3 Harley Davidson.
And the reason why I think Adam was panicking about the box not arriving, the Red Notice, the rock slabbed. It's incredible. It's even more amazing in person.
To be fair, it was the boosters, because I was like, that's actually monetary value that I haven't received for.
You're never going to find that again.
So yeah, my journey into the depth of eBay eventually ended with so all those are from one seller.
Right.
I lucked out. So I think I found a person or a vendor that can be buy me some.
Oh, they got more.
Oh yeah, they got loads.
Amazing.
They got loads. I'll send it to you afterwards. So initially, I came across, because I literally, what do you search? It's so I just put I literally wrote booster packs. Trading card booster packs, and then cheapest to whatever, and I got through 1,000 fucking Pokemon Halloween packs, and then found
that's going to be the problem.
yeah, and then all the Pokemon redemption card things for the online game, but then found Buffy the Vampire Slayer trading cards, Women of Sunnyvale, whatever it's called, and I was like, oh my god, this is perfect. And then there's a Men of whatever Buffy said. I'm sorry, fake nerd. And I was like, oh, that's so good. And then, but it was 10 quid for a booster, and I was like, and then just digging fans person, loads of stuff. I was like, yeah, absolutely. So try to keep it in the spirit. The actual Buffy trading card game, I think, is one that's exciting. So that's going to have mechanics that can translate over, whereas a lot of the others are going to have to be interpreted.
I was looking I think the Battleborn ones will have mechanics.
I think they have numbers. I think there's a top trumps.
Okay,
if I remember correctly. So yeah,
so many of these are just the Powerpuff Girls and the Miku ones might. The Powerpuff Girls pack feels quite big, so it feels like a game, because there's a lot of cards in there. But yeah, that's so exciting stuff. We'll have to wait and see.
Whatever was cheapest was bought. I had a card market order that's come with stuff for the party box, which is a weird one. I've never heard of this game before, and I'm probably going to get slaughtered in the comments. But I got 3 Grand Archive.
I see it on when you click the games that Card Market sells. I always see it on there. Yeah,
it's produced by a company called Weebs of the Shore.
Okay,
which so we've got a couple of cards for that going in. It's clearly inspired by Magic with the mechanics on there. Also, I got a new hat for Christmas, which means came with a new Sportsman card. This one's gold. So JT Snow Jr. will be joining the party box.
Excellent. I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we've built a bunch. I took a bunch of cards out of the bulk that you sent that I think we've already got in there. I am going to have a proper look through and just kind of filter out anything that's a bit but yeah, I think we're there. We need Booster Chews, we need Flicker Wisps, but then I think once we've got those two, we can trial it.
You could proxy those, right?
I guess we could do.
Yeah, just proxy them.
So yeah, so that should be good to go. Hopefully, end of the month. Touch wood. But yeah, other than that, Christmas, I got a few Duskmorn bits. I got a Duskmorn one. There's the the deck boxes with the art with the the split art. I got a bundle and a Nightmare bundle, which is quite cool. Nothing huge in them. I got foil, Enjoy Curiosity, Enjoy Vitality, full art foil Mind Skinner, foil Marvin. Just some decent stuff, really. A few Withering Torments. Annoyingly, I got another Dam and Goyo's Vengeance in my Nightmare bundle, so I'm still chasing the Archon.
I think I've got an Archon. I'm chasing... What am I chasing? Do I have an Archon?
Kindred.
I can't remember. I've checked. Yeah,
I really want the Archon. I got two.
I want the Living Death.
Living Death. Yeah, that's a good one. I got two Thorn Spire Verge. Is it the Gruul land? the showcase. I got a 4-1 and a non-4, so that's nice. So that's gone into Kibo. Nice little upgrade there. Also, my Secret Santa. You may remember last episode, I didn't know who my Secret Santa was. We detective afterwards. We like Batman detective moded, and we managed to track it down to Woody from Kitchen Table Games, who later confirmed it was him. It was a PDH deck, Pauper EDH. So that's exciting because he obviously overheard or saw me talking about wanting to get into it. So now
That's cool.
So I had a stack of cards I was going to upgrade it with, and they were all rares. And I was like, there's a reason they're not in there. So yeah, excited to give that a go. He also gave me another gift that I wasn't to open until Christmas, which ended up being the Gimbal Precon, the March of the Machines one, which I have already got. So we're going to have to find a new home for that. But
what's the backup? That's quite good, isn't it?
The backup commander.
Yeah,
it's Rashmi and Ragavan.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Maybe I can turn into that. But yeah, good. That was really nice. So thank you, Woody. Christmas for me was all about Beyblade, my new obsession.
Yeah, so let's talk about this. So,
okay.
On the episode with Emma and Kerry, the most recent one, because apparently those two can only gift in pairs, guest in pairs, sorry. We kept joking about how we're going to become a Beyblade podcast. A Beyblade podcast. Jesus Christ, word.
How did that come up in the episode? I don't remember.
I think I was talking about TikTok and how I'm on Beyblade TikTok, where it's just like really cool Gen Z kids in like car parks, like playing street level Beyblade.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm still on that TikTok because it's really funny.
So that must have rubbed off on me.
Yeah.
There's a YouTuber I watch. He's called Jet Kuso. He does, he covers like Transformers and like toys, and he was really into Bakugan, if you remember that. He was like a competitive Bakugan player as a child.
I was too old for that and I never understood it.
Same. But he actually like worked with the company as a kid.
Right.
So he was always in like the toy conventions and that kind of sphere. So he got dabbled in a lot of the games. So he got into Beyblade as a kid as well. And now he does this channel where he's like, it's all like nostalgia stuff, you know, like old toys. He did an episode talking about Beyblade and the new Beyblade X. I saw that after we spoke and I was like, this actually looks really good. And then I genuinely started getting interested in it. And every time we were out shopping, I'd see them. I'd be like, oh, I'm going to get into Beyblade next year.
So how...
My girlfriend must have heard me say this a lot.
How does Beyblade work?
Okay.
Like...
So let's Beyblade talk. The new version of Beyblade is called Beyblade X, right?
Yeah.
It's all based around this thing called the X rail. So in the arena now, it's a ball shape. There's 3 pockets on one side. There's 2 in the corners, and then there's the extreme finish, which is like a wide like trough on the long end. The edge of the arena's got a ring with teeth in it, like a gear teeth.
Okay.
And then the opposite end to the pockets, it kind of points inwards towards the pockets. So you hit the rail. There's gears on the tops that lock into the gear on the outside, and then you spin around the rail and you're swung off the other side to hit the person in the middle into the pockets. So you actually do like an attack, like you hit the rail and you go and you like zoom off and hit somebody in the middle. So that's the new gimmick, which honestly makes it a lot of fun because it's very intense. It's not just 2 tops hitting each other in the middle.
Sure.
If you go up to the edge, you're going to hit the rail. You're going to spin around really fast and slam into the middle, which has a trade-off because then you lose some of your, they call it stamina. Your spinning gets kind of
momentum.
Yeah, it gets like exhausted by hitting the rail. So it is a trade-off. You hit the rail, you fly into the middle with a big attack, but your momentum's down.
And then how does the makers of Beyblade, how do they monetize this beyond just buy a Beyblade?
The tops are split into 3 parts. There's the blade, so you've got different shapes, you've got different weights, you've got different sizes.
Okay.
So like heavier blade is not going to get pushed around as much as a lighter blade, but a lighter blade will move quicker, things like that. You've got a ratchet underneath, so the ratchet locks into place. If you hit your opponent's ratchet you can burst their Beyblade and it splits apart and then you win. So that's another way of winning other than knocking them into the pockets.
Okay.
Different ratchets have got different heights that affect center of gravity, things like that. They've got numbers of bits, numbers of like points on the ratchet. So the more points you've got, the bigger they are, but there's less of them. Wait, no, what did I say? If you've got more points, they're smaller. If you've got less points, they're bigger, but there's obviously less of them. Okay, so there's that. And then there's also the bit, which is the point at the bottom. So there's different shapes that affect how it moves around the arena. Also on that, there's a little bit of plastic that affects how easy it is for it to explode out. So that's how they monetize it. There's different bits, there's different ratchets, there's different blades.
Sounds like a car.
Kind of. So Hasbro do it in the US, UK, and that. They're selling individual blades. Japan have got it, obviously, like Japan do. You buy booster packs where you can get the prize.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so they've gathered it. Also, there's like lotteries to win fancy ones. But honestly,
it's probably not like that over here, just due to gambling kids. Like it's so because the product's aimed at under 13s, right? Basically, so
the game in Japan, as you scan your blades into the app in Japan, you enter a lottery to win rare blades. It's really crazy. Also in Japan, they've got a thing where you attach it to your launcher, and you actually, to play the game, you have to use the launcher to like pull to play it in the game, which is quite cool. And it like tracks how fast you're launching. It's wild. But yeah, it's really fun. I'm going to get you on it when you come around. It's a lot of fun. It's just, it's hard to explain. But
I'm seeing like more breakout grassroots stuff on it. So I actually even think Alan from Mental Misplay literally put up a short where they're playing, they literally decide turn order, they're playing Beyblade. Yeah. So I'm definitely seeing like more, it's kind of like that, like at EVO we have like your Street Fighters, your Mortal Kombats, and then there's someone in the corner playing like Shaq Fu, or the Shrek wrestling game. Like it's this like small thing where the people who are into it are really, really into it. But yeah, it's a weird one because for me it's like, how is that not just solved kind of immediately, right? Because you only got so many pieces. So surely there's like a meta. Yeah, well, yeah, but like surely there's a meta that is just like, it's these, and then you end up with like a rock, paper, scissors situation where it's like, well, this stack beats this stack and this stack beats this stack. And then you're just kind of just like swirling around a set meta.
The kind of is that, but then you can affect how you launch the blade, where it goes in the arena. Sure. Also, there is, like you said, a rock, paper, scissors. And when you play competitively, because they've just had the Japanese competitive, like the regionals have happened, the finals, all that's happened, you have 3 blades that you take. That's your deck.
Yeah.
There's no repeated parts in that. So you can't just take, this is the best bit, you can't take 3 of them. Yeah. And then obviously you can kind of counter people's things that way. There is technically it's not really rock, paper, scissors. It's like, what's the Nintendo RTS, Fire Emblem, the triangle in Fire Emblem. Yeah. And then there's the one in the middle. Yeah. It's that. So you've got attack beats stamina beats defense beats attack, and then there's all round. Defense Beyblades suck currently, so everyone ignores that. So it's basically just attack and stamina types, which is, it has
it's just so weird because it's not like attributes that you're saying, right? So like we know a 0/4 defender is a defending creature, and we know like a 4/1 haster is an attacking creature, but those are like fixed numbers and terms.
It's so odd.
Denote that this is an attacking thing, where it's like, if you're like a physical object that is moving, it's weird that they can kind of denote, this is an attack, this is a defense. It's weird.
I had no idea how it was going to work. I'll show you when you come over. If I launch an attack Beyblade, it will go insane. It will spin around the arena. It will launch itself off the thing multiple times. If I launch a stamina one, it will stay in the middle and it will literally spin forever until it drops. It's wild how they've done it. Obviously, they've been doing it for so long now; they should be able to do it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some engineering science to what they're doing in terms of, okay, this is heavy, this is light, therefore,
it's the shape it's the shape of the bits as well that affect how they move, because they do genuinely move differently. It's very, very cool. Also, my next purchase, because I've gone all in on this, as you know I would have. There's a Japanese arena that, I said there's the ring around the edge.
Yeah.
The new Japanese arena has a smaller ring in the middle that moves up and down on a battery, and there's a gear ring in that. So when that goes down, you just hit into that and you spin around it constantly until it moves up and you fly out. It's so cool.
I think my issue with Beyblade, is it came out mid to late 90s, right? It was after Pokemon and Digimon and kind of that spike, but before Bakuman and all the kind of more newer generation stuff. Newer generation is 20 years old. And it was definitely a lower tier anime, and it was definitely a lower tier kind of product and cultural awareness. But they have never shifted from this is a toy with 98, 99 attitude. It's, I don't know, the fact that it's called Beyblade X.
Yeah.
There's a YouTube compilation that was going around of all the RC toys that were advertised to us when we were kids, of the ones that could flip and didn't stop moving. It kind of feels like that to me, where it's just still got this this is cool, fuck your parents energy.
So the new promo material for it is all really focused. They're really trying to make it a competitive thing. And the fact that they just did, like I said, the regionals and the regional finals in Japan, and there are two sections. There's kids,
they should, and then
there's not kids, which is great.
Yeah,
but
the kids should be able to enter the non-kids and get clowned on, because that's always good. I just want to see some 35-year-old Japanese man stunting on a 12-year-old. That's what's going to make me want to play Beyblade.
But yeah, I'm building my deck. I do want to start going to an actual event to play it, and let's see if I can get in the UK regionals and become a Beyblade master. That's the plan.
Back to Magic, which this podcast is about. We're going to quickly run down what is coming out this year. Our thoughts, predictions, concerns, all with that Magic Castles vibe. And then we've got another bit that we'll get into after that kind of follows on from this. So Magic 2025 seems to be absolutely packed.
Yeah.
But weirdly in a way where I don't know if I'm excited for more than 50% of it.
It feels packed, but at the same time, it feels small to me. I don't know why. I think obviously there's less things, but they are bigger, I think.
There's also stuff that I feel like I can just ignore, which is good. Not everything is for everyone. That is, and not everything is made for me in mind. And I think that's what makes the game great, right? But
yeah.
It's an interesting year. So starting in January 24th, we have Innistrad Remastered. This is obviously printing reprint set featuring every card from the Innistrad blocks. So OG Innistrad, Shadows, and Crimson Hunt, Crimson Vow, and Midnight Hunt.
Are the weird ones included in the Innistrad block? Because aren't they doing what's the other one? It's got a weird name. It's it's the Eldrazi one.
Yeah.
That's
Shadows over
included
Innistrad
in the block,
and Eldritch Moon,
that's the one.
are on this. This is going to be the first set that features headliners. which is their take on chase cards, basically. So Edgar Markov will be the headline card in Innistrad Remastered. That means he's getting a like full art special treatment movie poster nonsense, and then they're going to be retro frames and like multiple treatments of this card. And that's them saying this is the reason to crack packs. The special treatment is the horror posters, which are cool.
Yeah.
But they're not going to make me open up packs.
No, I am ignoring this one entirely.
I was trying to like talk around it. The remastered sets have never done it for me.
I will say the only good thing about them, especially this one included, they reprint the lands, which is great because they need to be repaired.
Yeah. But like, I mean, none of the Innistrad lands are busted. But the jewels, the jewel lands from Midnight Hunt,
yeah,
and Vow were pretty good. Naturally, it's wild that they are still as cheap as they are.
The green one's quite expensive. Death Cat. I think a couple of them are quite
they've all
quite
gone
expensive
up because they're good. Like
they're just out of print now. Well, not out of print, but they haven't printed anymore. So I'm happy. That's what I like about these Masters sets.
Shocks and draft sets, Ravnica remastered sets. Yeah, it's just if I want a single, I'll buy a single, and like if I want a special treatment, I'll buy it in single. Like I'm not overly fast in cracking these. Also, Innistrad's really weird now because Innistrad used to be right. There's two things about Innistrad. Innistrad used to be like the bastion of like modern power level, right? Lily Under the Veil, Snapcaster Mage, like Gravecrawler, like all these cards that you kind of hold as like, oh, this is like when I would say like modern power started kind of getting power crept a little, not even power crept a little bit, but like good design, strong, good like play patterns, all this kind of stuff. You barely see Snapcaster Mage in like modern decks now. So it feels like Modern Horizons is like rotated Innistrad out. So it's weird to go back there from a remastered sense because are those cards actually desirable? Like Lily of the Veil was in standard and was unplayed, basically. Christian from Chat Magic shouting at me because it was, but you know, like when I was playing, when Lily of the Veil was standard legal and I was playing like games in Arena, I very rarely would come up. So it's interesting to see like you can always go back to Ravnica because you can always reprint shocks. You can always go back to a set with fetches because like those staples kind of hold the set together in terms of desirability level because everyone needs them. Things like Snapcaster Mage, things like Lily of the Veil. Hit my mic. Are they? This is why I need to move my mic on. Are they still desirable to new players? Probably not, because we don't really see those in Commander. And they're not standard legal. And we're not really seeing them in Modern. So it's interesting.
So
I also think... Go on.
I was going to say that's probably why they're leaning onto the special treatments more than they were in Ravnica. Yeah. Because...
And then, as I say, I think like Innistrad is having the Ravnica problem where people are fatigued with just going back to it. And not going back to it and doing the things that people like about the plane. So like OG Innistrad is like one of the greatest sets of all time. Dark Ascension and Avacyn Restored, whatever. But I stopped playing during Shadows block, and obviously Crimson Vow and Midnight Hunt didn't do it for anyone really, apart from people who didn't know how good OG Innistrad was and how this was just like a, you know, shadow of its former self. So it's interesting. I could see this being like the one where they're like, oh, we need to rethink remastered.
Yeah,
because they're also just running out of like road with this, right? Like they've done Ravnica, they've done Time Spiral. What is another fan favorite they can go back to? Really, that has enough sets where you can make it an interesting limited environment. Because I tell you what, it's not Theros. So what's next?
I like the thought of each year having a draft set. I think that's quite an interesting concept. But like you said, maybe they need to go new. This is a new draft set. This is this year's draft set. And it's entirely
I don't
new.
know. So Innistrad Remastered, January 24th. I will not be buying any of it.
Yeah.
But if you want to, that's fine. Do it. Whatever.
Oh yeah. Do you?
I'm not going to tell you.
I bet there's going to be some nice sleeves as well. So whatever. I might get them.
Oh yeah, like the stuff they've already shown in terms of like key art and marketing art is sick. But
God, yeah, the art is incredible.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'll pick up a showcase of something. I'm sure I play dozens of Innistrad cards in my decks, so I'm sure there'll be something nice. But I'll get a single because I got stung with Ravnica. I bought so much Ravnica.
Oh, did you? I didn't touch it. I think I opened the one pack they gave you as part of your ticket for Amsterdam, and that was it. Oh no, I opened two. I got one with the Amsterdam ticket, and then someone on the floor gave me a Ravnica Remastered pack, and it was like, I think I got a Quarter Calling. And I was like, cool, good enough, and then never opened it again.
Yeah, I got a booster box.
February 14 is Aetherdrift.
Yeah, let's go.
Which
so
is
excited.
The wacky races death race taking place across 3 different planes. Features 10 teams competing in a death race to acquire the ultimate prize, the Aetherspark. The Aetherspark is also going to be Aetherdrift's headliner card, which is interesting, right? So they've gone notable reprint that is worth money, right? Like community knows it's worth money. And I think to squander kind of like they're only going to put like chase money cards. They're like new card, second set, brand new card. Don't know how it's going to land with the audience. Don't know if it's going to have monetary
it is like
value.
the first of its kind because it's an artifact planeswalker. So
it's going to be interesting. But I think what they've tried to do there is say to stop any narratives of we're just going to reprint the Edgar Markovs and the Ragravans of the world. Here is the Aetherspark, which is an unknown card. So that's cool. It also makes sense thematically because it's the prize of the set in lore. So making it the prize of the set with headliners is quite nice.
I'm thinking this set, because I was talking about land reprints. This is the perfect set for them to reprint the Battle Bond lands. Which one? I can't remember what their effect was, but I know they're expensive now.
The land ones, the how many players you have ones.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
the can't because it's a standard legal.
Oh, really? Oh, God, yeah. Okay, jam in the precons then, or something. Just put them in because it makes sense because they're all like spectator seating's one of them, right? They're all like stadium kind of. Yeah, so that thematically they will fit.
Yeah.
Or put them in the set and just have a note saying they're not standard legal like they always do these dumb things.
Funny. Aetherdrift products will include play boosters, which this is going to be the first time that the box is now 30 boosters. Collector boosters, obviously. Aetherdrift bundle, Finish Line bundle, which is weird that they're doing a gift set bundle in February. And then your 2 commander decks. One is Teamer called Living Energy, which is I think it's already said it's an energy deck. And then the other is Esper called Eternal Might, which has a Arm & Cut mummy on it, which is one of the planes as well, I believe.
Yeah.
Or they're just a team. I can't remember.
No, these planes are
Avishkar, Arm & Cat, and
a new one. A dinosaur one, yeah.
So that's cool. We don't know what's in the Finish Line bundle. It says also include the box has a little thing on it says also includes a first placed box topper. So I wonder if there's a box topper in the normal boosters as well as the bundle. Who knows? I assume all the first place cards are cars or vehicles, like special treatment. But we will see. This will be the third set in a very short time that's had a energy based precon in blue red X.
Teamer though, so that's
it's Teamer, yeah. Sure, not buy. Maybe I'll buy it, and then I don't know. 'Cause the problem with energy cards is they're all on rails.
Yeah,
all energy cards have to reference energy, so like there's very rarely you can't really take it apart for scrap because it's just all going to have fucking energy marker on it. This is looking cool though. It's obviously a 10 color pair set, which is cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not like super buzzed about this one. We've not seen cards yet. Garrick is back. That's the only reason I care. But one Planeswalker a set does not make. So yeah, it's a weird one.
I think I'm the only person in the world who's excited for this set, but I don't care. I think it's going to be great. I love weird, goofy stuff. I love vehicles. I'm sad that no Greasefang, like I predicted. I'm really upset about that.
I'm sure they said no Greasefang. I'm sure there'll be.
There's no Kamigawa representation. I think maybe the precons will be jammed with references. I'm hoping. I
also think that Greasefang left a bit of a bad taste in people's mouths, so maybe they're stepping away from it a little bit. But yeah, we'll see.
There's absolutely no Kamigawa representation though.
That's weird. So. That is weird because they're their vehicle.
They got jet bikes, like.
They're mechs. They're the vehicle plane. I saw some back and forth about Duskmourn being a race team.
Yeah, Winter's back. Winter's not dead.
Winter's back. He's not dead because he's racing. He's now Dick Dastardly for some reason. Yeah, it's the conversation was: does this undermine the horrors of Duskmourn? Because if the whole point of Duskmourn is you can never leave, once you're in, it's basically nigh impossible to get out. Unless there's an interdimensional race happening that the Moth wants you to win because the Moth wants to become a Planeswalker.
But the Moth is Duskmourn, so...
Yeah, so it's
if the plane lets you leave, you can leave, like...
It's weird, right? Because also, like... the whole lore of the first one was Valkavoth was going to let Winter leave, and he was going to let him leave to Innistrad, where it's just as horrific. So it's like he's playing with him, but now it's please go race around Egypt for me.
He's probably not being nice about it, but
we don't know. But it's weird. It's just weird, and also like and I like this, but like all of Duskmourn art we've seen so far has a real like Gravedigger the monster truck vibe to it, which is silly, which is fine. And this should always be silly in Magic. It does not need to be super self-serious. I think it's just weird to be like, here is your new super self-serious plane, and then immediately goofy.
Well, I mean, they've got like hot rods and stuff because they're from a modern... it's a modern world, so they would have modern cars.
It's weird. I think it's just like tonally it clashes.
And also they've got an actual speed demon. I love it. It's so good. Yeah, it's so good.
It's funny. Like, it's cool. But I think it's just like...
I also really like the like mech insect team. They're like insects that evolve into vehicles. I love that. And the Mad Max people who like... I don't know how much of the lore you read. Their plane was like being destroyed, and they like raced away from it being destroyed, and they ended up there. Right. And now they're just kind of using what they learned. Their whole plane was like a Mad Max plane, but it got destroyed, and they're like the remnants of it. I kind of dig that.
I think this is going to be the set where they start talking about, like, 'cause we saw a little bit of it at Bloomburrow and Duskmourn, which is like the ramifications of Omen Paths and like the being able to fling yourself across any different plane and the ecological problems that presents in Bloomburrow, and then the safety concerns that it presents in Duskmourn. And I think this is going to be similar to Bloomburrow, which is like, this shouldn't be allowed. Like, you shouldn't be allowed to say 10 races, 10 different planes race across, XYZ, and Forza Horizon style roll up on a town and just destroy it with cars. So, well, I think there's going to be like underhand commentary of like, this is possible due to Omen Paths. It's probably not great. But
that is probably it, because I don't know how much of the lore you read, but Gonti is now in charge, or he's at least high up in Avishkar. And I don't know whether he's doing a villain turned hero or like abusing the power, because like this used to be an underground race. It used to be like a street race thing. And now that like Gonti's high up, they're like, this is going to bring more people in. So they make it into like the big event. I kind of like it. It's like pod racing. I really like it.
Yeah. This is going to be one of those sets where I wait and see. This is going to be one of those sets where I wait and see. The cards come out, treatments, and then I decide, okay, this is how much I'm going to invest in terms of cracking.
Oh, and the goblins, they worship some kind of speed god, which is great. Anyway, let's go.
April 11th, Tarkir Dragonstorm is going to be a revisit to an alternate timeline version of Tarkir, where obviously Tarkir and Val reset time to make dragons reign supreme. So this is based on the quote-unquote good timeline. This is obviously going to bring back the 3-color wedges. So Jeskai, Sultai, Tima, Abzan, Mardu. Apparently WotC were pressed on this at an event, and they've confirmed, there's going to be lots of dragons.
Okay.
The set's called Dragonstorm. No product lines given away yet, but I assume it's your standard ones, and then if they think they can throw in a special collector's bundle format like Aetherdrift, they will. That would be interesting actually to see if that is a pattern they continue throughout the year, which is standard bundle, collector's bundle as well. Have you seen the logo for this?
No,
Okay.
I'm not really that bothered about this one, because I've never played. I know this; it's supposed to be really good, the original, but I never really got into it. Also, I find dragons really boring.
Original Khans is like Innistrad, best of goated set of all time.
But that's why they've done this, to keep all the old heads happy while they release Final Fantasy and Marvel. But dragons are boring, man.
So the Tarkir Dragonstorm logo, and I don't know if this is just me with metal bias looking at it, has a real like 80s power metal vibe. So I wonder if that is the treatment they go into. However, because this set is culturally iffy, so the first set was quite problematic. It was cool at the time. You're like, it's awesome, but then people were like, You're like, oh, okay. I think it depends if they are willing to do that, but we'll see. But if they went with like a 80s power glam metal treatment for like the dragons, maybe like humans you treat like with a bit more tact, but the dragons themselves could be
like Frank Frazetta, like old like D&D, like classic fantasy.
That logo, it has that like 4 like Love and Thunder kind of vibe to it. I think that's intentional.
If they do that, they will get me back, because that would be so cool.
I need more Team of Dragons for Miram, so that's all good. So that is April 11th, and straight in at June 13th is Final Fantasy Universes Beyond. This is standard legal, fully draftable, featuring every mainline game up until Final Fantasy 16. So I'm sure there will also be a buttload of pre-constructed commander decks, collectors, all this kind of stuff. This is going to be one of the sets where they are going after people's money. I don't. It's not like I don't care for Final Fantasy. It's just it's never had its hooks in me. As much as something else we're going to talk about in a bit. So for me, it's like X2, 12 and 13, and maybe 12, maybe just 13. And I was a PS2 era Final Fantasy flyaway fan. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one does.
Yeah, I'm more of a Final Fantasy old head, so I'm sure I'll be into that. Anything past like 10, I'm not that into. But
also they have shown how they can handle legacy versions of IP.
Yeah.
Previously, right? Doctor Who. Like, if you told me, oh, they're going to make Commander decks for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, like 6th Doctor, I'd be like, well, who's going to buy those? Apparently, everyone. So
I've got no doubts it's going to kill it.
Yeah, they're happy to treat that. But yeah, we don't know product range yet. But standard legal. I saw a really interesting thing. I need to find the post, which was, if you don't know what Final Fantasy is, and you're upset that it's in your Magic, the Gathering, and you're like, this isn't Magic. You didn't know what Eldraine was until you knew what Eldraine was. You didn't know what Innistrad was until Innistrad was out. So if you try and treat it as,
it's just another.
This is effectively a new Magic set, right? Yeah. These are Magic the Gathering characters, even though they're not, and it's only going to work to some degree. Like, I have enough knowledge through cultural osmosis who these characters are, so it's very hard for me to be like, oh, that's Cloud, the Magic the Gathering character. But for some, like the gods, a lot of those, like Behemoth, would just be a Magic the Gathering character, right? So
all of them. They'll just even Shiva some of the more
could be a Magic the Gathering character. Yeah. So I think, like, if people try and view it like that, especially on the more kind of magical fantasy characters, I think you're going to enjoy life a bit more.
But the supply llama from Fortnite could be a Magic the Gathering creature.
I was about to say this method does not work for SpongeBob SquarePants. Cool. August 1st, Edge of Eternities.
Hell yeah.
The third and last Magic Universe set of the year, Edge of Eternities, a space opera release that has been in discussion at Wizard of the Coast for a long time. Blah, blah, blah. Little known by a set by far, but apparently it's not the main universe, right? It's the Blind Eternities. So that's interesting.
I'm excited for this.
It's going to include spaceships and the return of Tezzeret.
I hope as well we get the I can't remember the race name. It's what Ruhan is. I can't remember what they're called. Ruhan is they're like Minotaurs, the Fomori.
Okay.
Because there's been hints that they arrived on Ixalan from space.
Okay.
And there's like in the last Ixalan set, they were like excavating mech suits that would belong to them, like ancient mech suits. So the rumor is that they like crash landed and they kind of just devolved just into. So seeing them in their prime and like out in space doing stuff, that would be really cool. Because there's only like 4 or 5 of them in Magic. They're quite scarce. But yeah, that'd be cool. Getting some more background on them.
And then apparently the headliner card was posted online by Wizards when they teased the Aetherdrift, Aetherspark card. They also showed like print test runs of a supermassive black hole called Sophira, the Super Void.
Okay.
So I think there's some things to look forward to. We don't know enough about this currently, right? I think this is going to be, from a flavor point of view, like that cosmic kind of entity stuff is your jam. You're into it. If it's not, you might have some issues. I initially thought, by the way, that the logo had a hidden Phyrexian mark in it because the O's got a line going through it, but it stops. So it's not a full Phyrexian mark. I was like, oh, fuck, Phyrexians in space. That would be cool, though, because that's like alien.
Yeah. That would go into like the cosmic horror as well.
Exactly.
If the Phyrexians were a cosmic horror, that maybe.
So
maybe that's what the black hole is. Maybe there's a bigger Phyrexian coming out of the hole.
It's loot.
Throw loot into that hole.
Yeah, so this is gonna be cool. Again, I'm sure this will be full whack.
Yeah,
product range.
Quite excited.
Sure.
Also, like how we're kind of bookending the year with like vehicle sets, because I'm sure there'll be spaceships in that.
Yes,
carrying the vehicles through standard.
Yeah, I wonder if they just the vehicles as rich design space. Like I'm sure we'll see like a lot more kind of things we haven't seen in terms of vehicles yet, like stuff coming down, being a creature right away, hitting, and then maybe turning back into a vehicle or similar.
They kind of did it with it was Kamigawa and Capenna. Well, they had like Kamigawa was heavy on vehicles, and Capenna was a bit lighter on. It had vehicles, but it was still like not as heavy. I like that.
Capenna had stuff that would like help vehicles to like blitz. Yeah, if you wanted to like blitz something in, and you could tap it and then do it. No problem. No way, because you can tap even if it hasn't got haste, right? So blitz doesn't actually help it that much.
You can crew with it.
Yeah, crew. And then end of the year is actually probably the set I'm looking forward to the most is Spider-Man Universes Beyond set. So again, a fully standard legal set, which is wild that it doesn't have a date yet. Like that is a contract. Ink on a contract is wet still, clearly. The fact that we are going into a year of competitive Magic, we don't know when the last set is coming out, is very strange to me. I would assume, again, with this, any way that they can wring money out of you in terms of collector boosters, collector bundles, gift bundles, all that is going to be high.
Tie-in comic books, I would expect promos in comics, things like that.
I would expect the full Lord of the Rings treatment, if not more than Lord of the Rings.
What's the one ring in the Spider-Man set?
Black suit. I could see it being like a one-of-one symbiote, like symbiote Spider-Man.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Just because that is so many people's cultural touch point for Spider-Man is cool. Yeah. Right? Which is like, if you ask people like, what is the coolest Spider-Man? They always say like black suit.
Yeah.
So like, if you were like, he's a one-of-one and it's like really sick art treatment or like original comic book art treatment and it's like got some crazy foiling, I could see that being...
just imagine like the Phyrexian 4, but it's the Spider-Man.
Well, yeah, they went like it's oil slick venom treatment or something. Cool. Like I could see, because that is just so many people's cultural kind of touch point with Spider-Man being cool, and that's like when they got into Spider-Man comics, etc., because it's just different and it's dark and broody and blah.
They should just do a one-of-one Scarlet Spider instead. Just to piss everyone off.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think like for me, there are enough characters, enough side characters, enough stories, enough locations. Like it's gonna be really interesting. I've been reading Spider-Man since I was 16. So it's really, really cool.
I had a Spider-Man phase. I was really into it for a while.
Never left it. So
he's my favorite superhero still.
So this is gonna be a cool one. I think this is gonna make them so much money.
Yeah.
And I think this is gonna be like a big player acquisition tool for them. So I would expect like the starter decks. I would expect like value boosters. Everything I think is going to be. They're just going to try and get so many people in with this because they couldn't do it with the Marvel Secret Layers because they were allocated, which is stupid. So I would, as soon as those things hit pre-order, I would probably look at pre-ordering them because I think that's going to be the feels bad retail moment of the year. And then, so people think Spider-Man's going to come out like October, November, maybe even earlier than that, which means because Edge of Eternities comes out in August, then we've got two to be announced dates. So we've got Spider-Man, which the date I think of Spider-Man's going to be announced at Chicago with teasers, MagicCon Chicago, and then there's a third Universes Beyond set being released at some point this year. However, crossover is yet to be revealed, and we don't know what the theme is, and we don't know what the date is. I don't think it's Marvel because they would have just said it's Marvel.
Yeah, they're going to space them out as well.
I think this is just this is some weird like the contract's not been done properly, like done yet, or they want to give this more of a spotlight at a MagicCon or something like that. So
have they said this is a brand new a new UB?
They have said the speculation is it is a prominent IP within the games industry.
Okay, because I was thinking maybe it's another D&D one, but and they'll announce it at Chicago. But
maybe because it's D&D at Chicago, right?
Mm-hmm.
So MagicCon Chicago is like MagicCon with D&D. They're trying new things, which is really cool.
I don't know how much more D&D they can bring out, though.
Yeah, unless it is just like Baldur's Gate again, but I don't know if they can. I think they've missed that again, but on the other side, where like before they were way too early, and now they're going to be way too late.
Or they do like a remastered and throw them all together situation. Yeah,
they can't make ball. So this is standard legal. Is it standard legal?
Have they said?
If it's standard legal, they can't do Baldur's Gate because they had partner, which is not a standard legal mechanic,
right?
Or choose a background, whatever. So yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. So for me, it's Tarkir and Spider-Man. Those are like the two big ones for me.
I'm eating good this year.
Yeah, you are doing all right. Aetherdrift, I'll look at. Depends on cards. Edge of Eternities, again, depends on cards.
Yeah.
And then we don't know what that third universe is beyond that. What's your kind of big lookouts for next year?
Aetherdrift and Final Fantasy. Well, yeah, honestly, if Tarkir is like hair metal vibe, everything apart from Innistrad is up my alley. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with Edge of Eternities because it's obviously brand new.
We just don't know enough yet. Yeah.
And they've like you said, they've wanted to do it for a while. Like there's been concept art floating around of a space set for a long time. I want like Star Wars Cantina vibes. I want little freaks. I want little like fish in goldfish bowls, with mech suits. I want some like Unfinity bullshit.
I think we'll get a pretty decent mix of self-serious space opera with like your Tesseract and stuff, and like there is a war happening, etc., etc. And then I think the world building will be like Unfinity light. Less corny, but like here's some weirdos because we're in space.
Like a space restaurant guy or like that kind of dumb. Like background characters like civilians and
like world building.
That's my
style.
I say this all the time, but I love like a marketplace full of little weirdos in a film. Yeah. If I see that in a film, I'm just like, oh, I'm all in.
But that's because it fleshes out the world, right? It feels that's what makes it feel lived in, and like that's what gives the stakes to intergalactic war, because you're like, well, this is the thing that's going to be lost. So from a flavor point of view, and even a game design point of view, you need that because it fleshes everything out, and kind of allows you to go, well, of course, the market stall vendor is less powerful than Tesseract. Yeah. And then like we start from here and we work our way up here. So
also exciting to see. I'm hoping it's a Tesseract. I hope Tesseract's like an anti-hero in this. I feel like he's going to be trying to stop because I love Tesseract. I talk about it a lot, but I want him to be stopping the black hole. I want him to be the good guy in this. Like he's just going along with it to stop himself dying. I
think it's going to be him being a bitch again, as always. It's going to be him doing this, and you think he's the real bad guy. And then Nicol Bolas in space, or like, do you know what I mean? Like this could all be. This was just when we take the segment, and then in a year's time we slap it on. Adam was right. This could all be a ploy to get Nicol Bolas out of Ugin's yoga palace, or whatever it's called. Like, do you have to go through the blind eternities to pull him out of, XYZ? So we will see. 2025 looks cool. I would have said 2024 looked cooler on paper, but that's hindsight. And we'll see. If Spider-Man doesn't bang this year, it's probably a bit of a letdown for me.
It will. Let's be real.
I'm sure it will, because there's just so much money on the table for them, and we know that's when they're the most incentivized to actually do good work. So this unannounced third Universes Beyond set. We're going to play a little game. So you probably realize we didn't talk about it because that would cannibalize what we're about to do. We are going to do a Universes Beyond IP draft. So between myself and Tom, we're each going to pick 5 IPs that aren't confirmed to have full Universes Beyond sets yet, which we think should. You could vote below in comments who wins. I'll turn order or snake, so we'll go first pick, and then the second person to pick will get 2, and then go back 1-1, 2-2, 1-1, 2-2. So we'll both pick 5 in kind of alternating order just to keep things spirited. I don't think we're going to have too much crossover.
No, I don't think we will.
Maybe your spike draft one from me, because I'm pretty sure you can guess the first one I'm going to pick.
Before we go into it,
yes.
I sat down to do this and I was thinking to myself, I have not got a clue what to say for this. I've ended up with so many. I've got a few honourable mentions that I would like to just talk about. I think that...
We can talk about them at the end. Yeah.
Oh, no, okay, yeah, fine. We'll do them.
Yeah, let's talk about them at the end.
Yeah, okay.
Because if you've got an honourable mention, there might be one that I pick.
Nah, it isn't.
We can talk about those at the end, that's fine.
Yeah, sure.
I just wanted to give it some structure. 1, because there's a show flow, and 2, because it means we can make short form content out of it.
That's a good shout. So,
I was going to roll to see who goes first, but I can't find the dice.
It doesn't really work well either for the show. Let's be real.
It doesn't really work for our dice. So I'll tell you what, I'll go first, and then you can go second. You have 2 picks, and I'll have 2 picks, and blah, blah, blah. I kind of want to just give like some context to my thought process on this. So for my approach to this, I kind of broke it down into what makes a big Universes Beyond set. So for me, it was scale of characters, right? Mm-hmm. Like you need to have a big world of characters, secondary characters that you can pull from. You need like a range of powers, abilities, or anything that you can kind of slap onto a card as like X is Y, right? So you saw D&D, which was like, and we see it with Magic Designs now, where it's like Planeswalkers spell. So that was like, okay, that's design space that they're happy to go into. And then things like lore, how can a lore be translated to a saga? How can settings be translated to land? So that kind of volume was where I kind of pointed my thoughts around IP at this. So it should not shock anyone who listens to this podcast to know that my first pick is Overwatch.
I thought you were going to say SpongeBob.
No. I actually think SpongeBob is very light in terms of how much they can make a set out of it.
I could show you some YouTube channels that would disagree with you there, but okay.
That's why they're doing drops. So with Overwatch, you get a range of heroes and character archetypes, which is massive, and they all cross different color pie theory as well. Like it's not just here's 20 heroes, right? Mm-hmm. You've got Blackwatch, you've got villains, you've got all that. So it allows you to stretch all of your kind of car design mechanics across different colors across these characters.
You've got like equipment as well, and vehicles.
You've got equipment, you've got law, right? You can literally go Tracer Blink, Tracer Recall, Tracer Pulse Bomb. That's 4 cards.
No guns.
And and it's equipment, yeah. So I think that gives you really easy spread in terms of design options. Too much lore that can be broken out into sagas, right? So, and maps and settings can easily be translated to lands.
Also, I don't know if you thought about it. You could have how they did the bounty, like a mini game. You could have some kind of payload type secondary game.
Yeah, exactly.
Mode.
So if you looked at like Assault and Escort and like all of the map types they have are those things in those that you could translate over to mechanics. But I think from a top-down point of view, it's really easy to be like, really easy to envision Overwatch as a...
Yeah.
This also has like bigger brand cultural appeal as well. Like I know people are like, Overwatch dead, but it still has stupid amounts of players and fools like me who log in every day. So I think that for me is a strong Also, you can go mad on treatments and people will buy them. That's that was the other thing back in my head, which was how can you milk money out of people? And then skins as well. So you can do different versions, different characters if you needed to down the line. So I think the design space is incredibly rich.
Yeah.
For Overwatch, what is your pick? Your first pick, so your pick one.
So I initially thought Cyberpunk. Outside of the game, because I don't know if not a lot of people know this, but Cyberpunk has been going for years, tens of years. It was an old role-playing game system like D&D, so there's a huge lore. They've recently kind of tried to re-energize it with like Cyberpunk Red. But then I remembered there's an even older game called Shadowrun. So Shadowrun is basically, I think it's like set 60, 70 years in the future, and like fantasy stuff has kind of reawakened. So there's fantasy races, but it's futuristic. So there's like, there's high tech, but there's also elves, and there's like fairies, and there's magic and things. And it's about the battle between magic and technology. I think it was started in the early 90s. I have pulled up a Wikipedia article. So there's so much background on it. There's so much lore. There's characters. You can make new characters. It's got that kind of D&D, flavor. There's loads of like background books. There's just lots of them to pull from. It kind of fits in the format. It uses the same creature types. You're going to get synergies with other cards because all the typal stuff. I just think that's a really solid thing. There's vampires. It's just basically what if D&D, but you had laser guns.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think that, it would just work because it's a fantasy setting. Also, if you're still struggling to think about it, if you're still struggling to imagine it, think about that really bad Will Smith film from a few years ago, Bright, whatever it was called. Where he was
Bright.
I think it was Bright. Yeah, he was a policeman.
And the guy was like, this is my next Star Wars. And I was like,
Yeah, that was basically Shadowrun, a complete knockoff of Shadowrun. But yeah, that's the deal. So it's fantasy, but it's futuristic. And I think that would make a really good set. You could obviously do, an elves precon. You could do a trolls precon. You could, that's my first pick. I think that's a much better option than Shadowrun. Than Cyberpunk.
And then what is your pick 2? Is it Cyberpunk?
No. My pick 2 is a bit of a personal one because it's one of my favorites. I originally was going to say Doom. There is quite a lot of Doom lore and Doom background, but I think just go the whole like id universe. So Doom, Quake, Wolfenstein. Just do like an id thing. There's so
I nearly had Wolfenstein.
Well, there you go. I got it now. Yeah. So you could do. There's probably a fourth IP in there somewhere.
Quake.
There's Quake, Doom, Wolfenstein, and they've got a bunch
Rage?
of. I was going. Or maybe do Bethesda. No, Bethesda's too broad. Yeah. So and I think between those three, at least you could stretch a bunch of precons and sets because the Quake universe alone is extremely vast. Doom has got a lot of lore. You've got demons, you've got monsters, you've got humans, you've got, then you add in Wolfenstein. Obviously, that's a bit. Are you going to have legendary creature like Robo Hitler or, I think there's enough there to probably stretch to a set, and it's something a bit different. There's items, there's equipment, there's characters. So that's my second. But also, I love Doom, as you can see by my Doom Guy helmet. But that was my second.
Doom Guy helmet. I was thinking Doom initially, but I think it was just from a volume point of view. It felt like it was quite tight. But I guess if you're doing multiple id titles within that, I think that can work.
And you have a one of one John Carmack's Ferrari that the guy won in the first Quake tournament or Doom tournament, whatever it was.
Yeah, that could work. Cool.
I've thought about this a lot less than you. I've just thought what would be cool. I haven't thought.
That's fine. like legitimately, that's totally fine. So my pick 1 was Overwatch, and Tom's pick 1 and 2 was Shadowrun, and
id Expanded Universe.
My pick 2, so I picked 2 and 3 back to back. So my pick 2, again, shocking absolutely no one here, is Like a Dragon / Yakuza, if you're nasty. This is a weird one because I actually think if you just say the name, people are like, But then if you take a second to think, it's 10 plus games of characters, lore, mechanics, settings, fighting styles, and all the wackiness that goes alongside with it. You actually get quite a fleshed out set quite quickly. There are mystical elements to Like a Dragon Yakuza, more so in 7 Like a Dragon and 8 Infinite Wealth, where it's basically a full-on RPG. So you are summoning stuff, you are using abilities, etc., etc. Those abilities all grounded in what if Ichiban was a, janitor, but like they're still, it still has that flavor. Also, people don't know this, but people know about the Samurai Yakuza game, but people don't know about Dead Trigger,
the zombie one.
The zombie one. So you get zombies as well, right? So it's not all just humans all the time. Animals also play a big part in Yakuza as well. So the last 2 games, Ichiban has had a crab or clawfish that's been his pet. And then it was like in the business mini game, the vice president was like a chicken or something. So like animals and kind of stuff spirals out of that as well. So I think from a creature type and character type of legendaries, it's quite fleshed out, and that game is just like it's anime out the arse in terms of person is a villain and they become your best friend. Right? It's just that archetype over and over and over again. So the cast of Like a Dragon is absolutely massive beyond just the main core characters, and I think like the fighting styles allow for things that are really cool. Like I was like, oh, how'd you do? Because the fighting styles, I think in the more later Kiryu games are kind of shown as like effectively like umbras, which is like, so is that where you go down there? Locations, obviously really simple. You have, it's basically the same location each time, but there are parts of, that's how they turn out one every year. So that's how you can do your land cycles as well. And then like loads of lore sagas, I think. And also like the items you pick up off the street becoming like equipment that you can Captain America style throw at people is quite fun as well. So I think it has that range of just, again, very much like Overwatch, but same but different. Just volume of lore and characters that you can pull from.
My only concern with Yakuza is we'd get 20 legendary creatures that are dudes in white suits.
No, not always. Yes and no. So there are a lot of handsome Japanese men with big shoulders. That is definitely a character archetype from Yakuza. But I think like towards 5 or 6? I think it's 5. Like they basically start pushing like what does it mean to actually be a Yakuza, and there are like leaders who are, wearing like puffer coats or just like it's or the Korean mafia, and they do things a certain way as well. Yeah. So they do start to push that way. It is very human centric, but I think that's fine. We just had Assassin's Creed. Yeah, like so. But there are ways you can do it, and I think like because they play into different archetypes of this guy's a bruiser, this guy's an assassin, this guy is effectively a wizard. And you can play with the silly as well. So I think that's probably why I would lean on Like a Dragon / Yakuza as my second pick. My third pick, I don't know if I'm going to do that one. I'm going to move things.
Yeah, I'm moving things. I'm scared of you stealing one of them.
I'm probably spike drafting one from you now. My third pick is going to be Tekken.
I almost went with Tekken. I almost had that.
Yeah, I think they've shown they can do this with Street Fighter, and I think Tekken just gives you a wider roster of characters.
Yeah.
And an ability to have way too much fucking lore, right? Like Tekken has lore for no reason. And moments as well that people remember and can easily translate to cards.
Yeah.
So I think for me, Tekken works. I also think like a lot of their characters don't fit into one archetype. You get a Kuma, which is nice, by cheating because he was a 7. And then you get a bear as well, which is also good.
Yep.
So yeah, I think, and then Tekken has again abilities that you could strap on to. This is, Steve Fox's XYZ or, Paul Phoenix's ABC, which I think is easy. It's probably harder to like flesh out than Overwatch and Yakuza.
There's less equipment and things like that.
Yeah, but I think there's things you could make an Assassin's Creed level set, I think, out of Tekken quite easily.
Yeah, for sure.
What is you got pick 4 and you got pick 3 and 4.
3 and 4. Okay, so I am going to. Do I save that one for last? I'm going to save that one for last because I don't think you've got it. My pick 3 is going to be Universal Monsters.
I did not have that.
I thought you would have. I am surprised they haven't done this. I thought it would have been like a bonus sheet in a set already. So you've got, your Dracula, the Frankenstein. They did Dracula in Innistrad, to be fair.
Yeah, but that was based on a novel rather than a selective retelling of Dracula. But yeah.
So yeah, you get your Dracula, you get the Mummy, you get Frankenstein, you get the Wolfman, and then all of their associated creatures and stories. Creature from the Black Lagoon. Invisible Man. I'm going down the Wikipedia list here. Van Helsing.
Yep.
I think you can Phantom of the Opera, you can just elaborate. You can either make it a big battle royale where they're all fighting each other or pull from their own respective universes. You've got locations for each one. You could give them individual colors or color pairs. You could make that kind of set. So, Dracula's a black red and whatever. Creature from the Black Lagoon is Dimir. Things like that. Yeah, you've just got so much material to pull from. Going back to 1913, by the looks of this Wikipedia article, with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So I think there's just so much lore there. It's just an easy one, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I didn't have that. I don't know why I didn't. It makes sense. It's a good one. And like Universal has shown that they are happy to mash those guys up.
Yeah.
In any IP as well. In any situation as well. So they're not really like, oh no, Dracula cannot speak to Frankenstein's monster.
There were literally like films where they were both in.
Yeah.
It fits in the universe. It works. And and creature types that work in the game. Just makes sense. I expect we'll see that as a bonus sheet at some point. I'm surprised it wasn't in.
I was surprised it wasn't in Duskmourn.
Yeah.
I think
it adds to the videotape quality of Duskmourn.
I think Duskmourn. I think you're right with Duskmourn, which Ghostbusters was meant to be it, and then suddenly it became a secret lair because they pulled away from the Jurassic World style ones last minute. So cool. And then pick 4.
Pick 4. I'm going to please Eve a lot by saying Mass Effect. I don't know.
That was one I actually had.
Yeah. I don't know much about Mass Effect, but it's a huge universe and people love it. Again, surprised that wasn't in. What was I going to say that was going to be in? Last year. Did anything come out that was adjacent to that? No. Edge of Eternities, it'll be in that.
Edge of Eternities might be. I don't know. Yeah, Mass Effect is huge in terms of races, characters,
lore.
You got world settings,
Equipment,
moments,
vehicles,
equipment, like
everything.
It's just a lot to pull from. Recognizable characters. You've got, I say 4 games. You've got 3 games where don't want to get into that. You've got 3 games where the kind of squad companions are beloved, and you will have, people be really interested to play Bane or, Rex or whoever. So I think that's a pretty good. But that was probably my number 6. That was like a backup one, but I did have it down.
I swapped that in just now. Do you want to have that, and I'll tell you what my other one was that I took out?
No, it's absolutely. You can do it at the end. It's absolutely fine.
But yeah, I just think people will like it, and there's a huge amount of material to pull from.
I think right now, I do think Mass Effect's like cultural appeal is probably the lowest it's ever been. But I do think BioWare will have to revisit it at some point. So it's kind of evergreen. Like the people who love Mass Effect are just going to love Mass Effect forever, myself included. So
I got I didn't. I got it for Eve, the board game for Christmas, and it's really fun. It's really, really good. So hopefully they see that and like, maybe we can make some more money. And then
nice
Magic set would be pretty cool. Oh, I'm so glad I got one off you.
Yeah, that was one I was literally looking at. Like, I should probably play Mass Effect now. Okay, so I got picks 4 and 5. So I think I'm gonna do this pick. I think is expected, and the next pick is out there. So
I hope you don't spite. I hope you didn't pick my last one.
I have one that is written down as an on-mem that is purely spite, and I don't think you're. I don't know if you're going to do it or not. So I'm not going to take it from you. So, as a reminder, I've picked Overwatch, Like a Dragon / Yakuza, and Tekken. Tom has picked Shadowrun, Universal Monsters, and
Mass Effect.
My pick 4 is showing my recency bias in a massive, massive way. You remember like last episode where I was like, I'm not an Indiana Jones guy?
Right, okay.
Turns out I'm an Indiana Jones guy. Game's phenomenal. I think Nazis not included, you could make at least an Assassin's Creed style set.
Yeah, 100%.
From Indiana Jones.
100%.
I think the locations, range of characters, and kind of like discoveries are broad enough that you could do like Indiana Jones on this thing is this color pairing. Yeah. If you were like, you're going to have like 5 Indiana Joneses, sure, but like there are, I think, other ways of doing it.
We've got 5 Lilianas at least,
exactly. So like, it's not the end of the world. And I think in the Brothers War we had like 4 versions of Urza.
Yeah.
So I think if you were like,
he's the name of the set. It's
I know. So if you were like, this is Raiders indie, and this is Crusade indie and what have you, or like from books, what have you.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be really fun. One a thought that struck me last night was Indiana Jones is technically a doctor. Do you slap Doctor's companion on Indiana Jones and then have the companions from the movies be partners?
Yeah,
you can pair up, which would be quite fun.
That would be cool.
Obviously, you can easily lean on historic as a central mechanic, right?
Yeah, because
the whole thing is him stealing.
It would be quite artifact focused. I think
it would be quite artifact focused as well. Obviously, there are some Nazis and some cultural things that you probably have to skirt around, but I think Wizards have shown they're very good at doing that. I think there's enough material there, and you can make a 1-of-1 Indies whip, or maybe don't do that. Indies hat.
Be the hat.
Be the hat, and then Indies fedora,
the Grail.
So I think that is my pick 4. Not as hyped and that as Overwatch and Like a Dragon, but I think it's like good fundamental.
I didn't see that one coming. I do like that. I really like it.
Quite fun. This is my out there one. I'm going mad for pick 5. This has an audience of like 10 people, I think, personally. So my pick 5, Barney the purple dinosaur.
I thought that was actually it then.
No, it's not. My pick 5 is Slay the Spire.
That's the one I took out.
Oh, really?
That's the one I was going to put in.
I think it'd be really interesting to have a set that is already based on a pre-existing card game.
Yeah. Genuinely, I swapped that out for Mass Effect.
Yeah, but I know only like 10 people would buy it. So
there is a physical card game of that that's amazing. My mate's got it and he refuses to unbox it yet. So I'm annoyed at that. But yeah, I do think there is quite a lot of stuff you could pull out into a Magic set.
Yeah, so for those who aren't aware, Slay the Spire is a roguelike card game.
It's a deck builder.
It's a deck builder where you pick a character archetype and you work your way up the tower, each time adding or removing cards from your deck and kind of finessing what your deck does. The archetypes are very, very RPG tropey. So it's a warrior, a rogue, and like the last one's not trope,
like a martialized.
But it's like it's kind of the robot's kind of wizardy.
There's your 4 precons.
But yeah, you've got like these central characters, and then there are literal cards that you could then translate to Magic the Gathering. So, and how mechanically those work can tie into the pre-existing cards. Like the rogue's all about doing like quick stabs and poison, right? So quite easy to see how that translates. And then the warrior is all about smashing for high amounts of damage very, very quickly and taking as many combat turns as possible. So I think even though because I think all the other ones I picked have a really, really broad appeal, maybe Like a Dragon, not so much, but like all the others so far have very, very broad appeal and culturally have an audience. And then my last one is just this indie card game that, people are still playing 5 years on.
It's been for a while now. I can see
Slay the Spire 2 is coming out as well. So
I can see that being more of a Doctor Who style pre-con release.
I think it's it's not a full set. It's 6 years. It came out 2019.
I reinstalled it 3 hours ago, I think, to play. So there you go. That's why it was fresh on my mind.
It's one of those games that is permanently installed on my Xbox.
It's a good game.
So that is my pick 4 and 5. You've got pick 5.
My pick 5, surprising no one, is Sonic the Hedgehog.
I had that down as an on-mem. Yeah.
Your nephew will be happy to hear.
Yeah.
There's so much lore. I saw Sonic 3 before Christmas. It's so good. It's so good. I love Sonic. I have been a huge Sonic fan since I was a child. I received this for Christmas that now lives on my desk. We love Shadow. Yep. Sonic's great. I can see that being more of a secret lair situation personally, but
I think it has enough characters that it spans the color pie. I think between like legendaries, I think you're pretty good. Like if you start going into like Sonic Heroes teams, you're decent. And I think these sets have proven, especially with Doctor Who, that you don't need to have like 12 Matt Smiths, right? You can have like more fan servicey, lower down the iceberg characters for these. So that's cool.
You'd have a team. You could just do it like you could do Team Sonic deck, Team Dark deck, Team Chaotix deck, Team whatever the other one is deck. Loads of lore, loads of characters, loads of items, loads of monsters. The monsters, they're robots, but they have animal types as well. So
that personality.
Yeah, right? make it standard legal. Make everyone really angry. That's.
I think like that would be one that breaks people for sure. They made that if they made Sonic the Hedgehog standard legal. Cool. So, as a reminder, my 5 Universes Beyond IP draft picks are Overwatch, Like a Dragon, Tekken, Indiana Jones, and Slay the Spire.
Yep. Mine,
Tom's were
Shadowrun, id Software, Extended Universe, Universal Monsters, Mass Effect, and Sonic the Hedgehog.
sick. We'll wrap up, but before we do, we have 2 things we have to do.
Oh, I've got some honorable mentions first.
Oh, shit. Let's do it on mems.
Yeah, into honorable mentions. You want to do yours, or shall I do mine?
Mine were quite boring. Mine were just Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
But it's too close to Tekken, and I think Tekken is more interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
And more appropriate. And I had Sonic. As well. Oh, I also had Gears of War. But again, that's for like 10 people.
Yeah. So I went a bit wild with my honorable mentions. I had 3 that are no shot for various reasons. So Gundam, there's a Gundam card game coming out this year. Would have been great. Not going to happen. Star Wars,
not going to happen.
I don't know, because of the Marvel is happening. So Star Wars.
I just think whilst Unlimited is still a thing, it's just never going to happen.
That's the thing. Yeah. And my other one was Red Dwarf, which is too British. I love Red Dwarf.
Monty Python. They
did that, and they did Doctor Who. But I do think Red Dwarf is way too British and way too niche.
Doctor Who was so unless you know, Doctor Who was like a cottage industry in America for like BBC. It made BBC so much money because Americans just lapped that shit up. Monty Python, I still don't know why they did. Like, it's just so old head. It's fine, but it's like it was a wild one. So I do think Red Dwarf is like 5 tiers below.
Oh yeah, like I don't even think Americans really know Red Dwarf.
I think you'd be surprised. Wasn't there an American?
There was a pilot, and it's terrible. It's really bad. They missed the plot. They missed the point completely.
Yeah,
like Rimmer is not Rimmer. Lister, sorry, is he's a handsome like a guy. It's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah.
Just for those who are listening, Red Dwarf was like a what if Star Wars, but a slob, I guess.
Spaceballs, but British.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Last man alive on a spaceship, but he eats vindaloo and rides around on a little bike. My other honorable mentions that are slightly more likely, I guess, Guilty Gear. Huge universe in that.
Yeah.
Characters like your Tekken, it's they've got weapons, it's got the like the Asian market angle because they love Guilty Gear. Everyone loves Guilty Gear. It's great. Nice art, cool treatments. Could be. And my other one, a bit of a curveball, Monkey Island.
I could see a Monkey Island happening as a secret lair drop 100%.
Yeah. There's so much lore. It's goofy, fun.
I think it's the fact that they've done Monty Python says to me they could do Monkey Island and it be like a reasonably successful set.
Yeah.
Because those characters are just like the people who love Monkey Island love Monkey Island. And I think it's the same kind of passion that like Monty Python fans have if you're still into Monty Python.
Yeah, I would love to see
Year of Our God 2025.
Love to see Monkey Island. So that was my honorable mentions.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, we do have 2 things left to do.
We do.
One is moving over to the Sicko Zone Hall of Fame. It's my pick. I forgot it was my pick. So you're getting an EDA. No, you're getting a Scryfall Shuffle treatment. But I think I found a doozy.
Okay.
Let me share my screen.
Oh, wow.
Mutilate from Torment is a horror show. I did not know that this was a art treatment for this card. I'm used to M13's version of the men like the night melting.
Yeah.
Which is still bad. But this is something else. This is like Goosebumps, but like actually going to keep me up awake at night. So Mutilate is 2 black sorcery. All creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn for each swap you control. Fine. Vanilla, boring. The artwork on the Torment version is nightmare fuel.
It's horrific. It's terrifying.
It has skin stuff. It has eye stuff. It has teeth stuff. The guys in the back, like, I just realised that the guys in the back are dressed like the Powerpuff Girls. They actually are.
They really are.
They're red, blue, and green.
I was focused on why that guy is like the grave shift or whatever his name is. What's the card I'm after? Is it Grave Shifter?
Gravedigger.
Gravedigger, yeah. Grave Shifter's the changing one.
Yeah.
It's Gravedigger.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are the Powerpuff Girls. They've got the belts and
I didn't
everything.
realise that they were the Powerpuff Girls. That's incredible.
Wow.
That just came to me.
That's incredible.
But yeah, it's for the hands in skin, teeth being enlarged.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of this whatsoever. It's disturbing to look at.
The head is like melting into the neck as well.
Yeah,
like it's just
like
unpleasant to look at.
The more you look at it, the worse it gets. And then they really tamed down the Mutilate art after that, didn't they? Jesus.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the M13 one's still a bit gross.
The M13 one is still gross, but yeah, this is something else. I did not realize that the Powerpuff Girls were here. That's so good.
Oh my god!
So that's
a good one considering it was a last minute.
It was literally I was like sitting here, buying glasses and shuffling Scryfall, looking at cards. Wow. So where do we think this sits? I think it's high.
It's high.
We now know that.
We now know.
Amnesia Nut was submitted by Woody.
Yeah.
This is high.
It's high. It's high. Can you pop open Temerian Feeds again? Just remind me of that one.
Every episode.
Oh yeah, it's the Goat Man. Yeah, okay.
Every episode.
I just love to see him. It's like a hug. I've missed him this year. Is it weird of them Temerian Fiends? The effect is good, so we're purely going off the art, but the art is incredibly uncomfortable.
So then that means we need to look at like higher than, so it's high, I think it's higher than Reincarnation.
Yep.
Okay, so it's already breaking top 10.
Is it weirder than Spasm?
Spasm's so weird now that we know that Spasm is the one that picks the...
Yeah, Spasm... I don't know if we mentioned it at the time.
It's been errated.
It's been errated, but for those audio listeners, Floral Spasm, the text box says, if Floral Spasm attacks an opponent and is not blocked, then Floral Spasm may choose to destroy a target artifact under that opponent's control and deal no damage. So the card itself, until it got errated, is the one that did the decision, which is weird and fucked. But yeah. I think the actual effect of Floral Spasm isn't that weird.
It's not weird since it's been errated, but I think we take it into consideration.
So is this weird? This is probably below Floral Spasm, above Reincarnation.
I could be happy with that.
It's very uncomfortable to look at. But
then we also know like Elvish Bard is like purely on art, right?
Yeah, but look at the art.
Fair. So I'm happy with it just above Floral Spasm.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Below Innistrad Blora. Like Torment.
Powerpuff Girls.
Can't see the Powerpuff Girls nuts.
It's dude. How did they put the Powerpuff Girls in here without getting Cartoon Network on?
When was that? When was Torment? When did Powerpuff Girls come out? Hang on, let me check on these booster packs. 1 second.
Torment was... when was Torment? 2002, 2001, 2002.
Torment, yeah, 2002.
Based on the credit line. So Powerpuff Girls was easily like late 90s, right?
Powerpuff Girls was 1999.
That's the Powerpuff Girls.
That is the Powerpuff Girls, yeah.
Wow. That's wild. I need one of these. How much are these? Oh, $4. Don't know about that. For Mutilate in 2025? Yeah, cool. So Mutilate from Torment featuring the Powerpuff Girls. Here's our new number 8 on the Sicko Zone Hall of Fame. A good start to the year. This thing's getting built out. We're approaching 30.
Yeah,
which is good. Just nice. Did you know? Only 25% of you. That's a really rounded bait number.
Yeah. I didn't just slip out my chair. One sec. Redo it.
Fine.
Start over.
No, keep that in. Did you know 27% of you are subscribed? That's kind of fucked up. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. We will now see comments on Spotify because it defaulted to, or one, we didn't have an account because someone else was doing all the hosting for us. But two, it defaulted to all the comments I have to publish. It doesn't do that anymore. Your comments automatically publish. So for those who have left comments for the last 4 months without them being seen, I'm sorry. You can now leave comments and we will engage with you. So thank you. So please like, subscribe, leave a comment, a review.
We are now releasing video on Spotify, correct? Am I right? Or is this
correct?
So yeah, we're trying this out. And the shorts, we've got the Spotify shorts.
Yeah, so there will be 1 clip per episode. Just that's how Spotify is handling things right now. So you might see us in your shorts feed. I don't know where the shorts feed is in Spotify, but it says we're doing okay there. So you're going to see hopefully more video content on Spotify, the audio app. It's weird. Everything is video. So yeah. So like I said, please like, comment, subscribe. Anything else before I cut you off?
We've got an announcement next episode, but we're not going to get into it this episode, so stay tuned. Yep. Next episode, we're going to be talking about what we're doing this year. And yeah, mysterious.
All systems go. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Well, this has been episode 22 of the Magic Castles podcast. I have been Adam. This has been Tom. We'll see you next fortnight episode, whatever. Bye.